Good morning, Gearheads, and welcome to episode 5 of Phil's Garage. Once again, I'm Phil, and this is Phil, and we're back in the garage. Last episode, we talked about just how to convert your tailgate from electrical power windows to a manual window, just by swapping out the crank on the outside and the window regulator. Today, we're back in restoration mode. Now we're focusing on actually pulling all of the parts off of the tailgate so that it's just the tailgate by itself. All the little pieces, all the little screws, everything will be removed. That way we can get it ready to be sandblasted, and then it can be ready to get painted, and then we can get it painted, get it back, and put everything back on it and finish it out like we talked about doing. But in our previous experience, what we found is it's not about taking everything off that's difficult. That's easy. That's the fun part. The difficult part is taking everything off and then being able to remember where everything went back on. So what we've got is we've got two tables right here. We've got our tailgate on one, and we've got an empty table right here. And our strategy is going to be, we're going to pull parts off, and we're going to put it right where it should be on the tailgate, and basically create kind of a mock tailgate on this second empty table. So that way, when we get the tailgate back from paint and body, we can set it right back where it is right now, and we can put the parts right back on it. Come along, let's see what we can screw up today.
You did, right?
Oh, great!
Oh, Grandpa's the worst.
Oh, Lord, what's going on here, dog? Okay, ready? Here we go.
Cooking good looking.
How about turkey, bacon, and pepper jack sandwich?
Yo, that sounds pretty good.
Sounds pretty good.
Dad, would you like one?
I have one. I've just had my lunch. Thank you very much for saying. What? Gonna bag all this stuff?
Yeah.
All right. What do you call those, regulator bolts?
Bolts, yeah, from regulator to tailgate. I swear it's always one bolt that has to give me a problem.
Yeah.
It's not so much. Oh, I'll bang you. Bang! Okay. Boy, I was truly impressed at how easy that was.
Well,
Do you want to take? And that's one reason why we're not doing a real restoration. Well, bam.
where are your bags for the rest of the Ziplocs?
There are. I'll show you. Hold on, let me pick this thing up and we pull the handle.
Got it.
Clear. Okay. Yes, then there's those. It's kind of pathetic. No, I don't think there is. I think it's just stripped. I think you can pull that plastic thing clean off. Here, let me put some. I'll put some tension on it, and then that'll help you screw it.
Oh, I see. Yeah, good. It's stripped.
So do we? Oh, son of a bitch! ATHW. Hold on. Put it back. What's it though? Okay, so, oh, there. Piece right there. Okay, so it looks like there's some kind of a little washer material there. Okay. So guys, every time we take a part off that's got a nut associated with it, we're just using painter's tape and keeping everything in one place. Okay. Yeah. We just want to identify these clips here and how they come off. This piece needs to rotate, and at which point the rod will be able to drop straight out of this right here. Now, because these are old and it's plastic, we're going to have to purchase some of these to replace them. But we'll try to do it without breaking it, so just... Okay, rotate it like that. The pin drops right out, and we're disengaged. Okay, so there's that. Comes right out. Piece.
You got one little
Piece.
What's that, 5/8? Oh, it's the hook connections are the key.
So this.
Oh, that's the key right there.
Yeah, where?
We got those two little bolts down there. You're gonna have to get out.
What bolts?
Right there.
Oh. Yeah. Actually, you know, it looks like that plastic piece can squeeze and push through, and you don't even have to take those off.
Okay.
It looks simple. Oh wait, never mind.
This came loose, didn't it?
What came loose?
Didn't something just come loose?
I don't think so. Well, you've also got these two little. Oh, this plastic piece is actually pinned here. Okay, yeah, you're right.
So what is that, 5/8? There you go. That's the way.
Oh, that's so much better. Well,
5/8.
everything else was on here was 7/16. I've told you once, I've told you a million times, boy.
I know.
Ooh. Those might be the rustiest pieces of it. Hey, real quick, we're about to make a mistake.
Yep.
Let me take. Oh, what a pleasant surprise.
Right.
So now I'm gonna put in the bag.
I got it.
Okay, so now do you want to unbolt one? Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4,
I think so.
and then just take that whole unit out.
Exactly what I think. There you go.
Now I'm very confused right now because this piece. Okay, so this little bar is going to be its own piece.
Need some big sacks.
No, we're not sacking this one. Will you move the regulator up?
Regulator up. Okay.
And then that piece. That slides right into there. Like that. And we still don't have a fucking clue what this is doing.
Tell you what, let's do. I'm gonna put these screws back in that thing.
1, 2, 3. And then this is right there. He is right there.
Yep. There you go.
And pop. Okay.
It's a very good job with the bottom.
Thank you. Very considerate of GMC to make them all the same size. And by considerate, I mean probably good for their productivity.
Exactly. Can you imagine the amount of the CAD that it took to, of course they weren't using CAD back then, but still and all, they had a bunch of records of Did all this by hand?
Assemble cars before computers. Trying to make those dies.
Okay, so we're discarding this or putting it in a bag?
No, we're putting it in a bag. We're not in discard mode for anything that's not relevant.
I got some big bags here, boss.
Oh, yeah, let me go get you some.
Give me some big bags.
Actually, need to go to the store and get a whole bunch of bags so that we don't have to loot Mary's bags.
Yeah, it might be on her budget, you hear about it.
Same budget going up. Oh man, every time.
You're gonna skin yourself up every time, aren't
Yeah.
you? Get it?
Yeah, got it.
Alright, well, here, this
Hold
one
on.
is-
It's kind of wrapped around in there. Pop. Pop.
Here's your poker.
It's a. It's not gonna happen. Alright, so that needs to fill out. Alright. So I think actually that way might be the easiest.
That thing off and I'm gonna go through. Cut that.
I should pop off like this. Gotcha. Okay. Got it? Papa. Okay. Oh, don't pull. Don't pull. Okay. All right, go ahead. All right, okay. With the removal of the motor and the wiring harness, that's it. That's the last of the electronic components. We're not going to throw this away. We're gonna hang on to this based on everything we've read. Hanging on to your parts until everything's back together is a good idea, just in case you happen to need a bolt, a screw, something part of this you didn't realize you needed. But so we're going to put this on hold. We're not going to put it on our table because we're not going to reinstall it in the into the tailgate once we get it back from paint. 16ths. In the window channels, it looks like there was supposed to be some kind of a soft fabric material in there to kind of allow the window to easily slide up and down. So we'll see if we can copy that somehow when we put it back. These things are pretty disgusting, so you can understand why your window might be struggling to go up or down with the electric motor if you've just got some of this. If you've got some of this crap built up in that channel. Where it is. And rotate the bottom out, and then you can pull it straight out. Like so. And there you go. There's your window channel. A couple of the last bolts remaining are going to be these two bolts right here, once again 7/16. And those hold this tension rod that goes, this tension rod hooks up here, runs along the bottom of the tailgate, and then extends inside the tailgate right up through here, and those hold it in place. So we'll go ahead and remove those as well.
You got one of them out, huh? Just two bolts?
Yeah, I got them both out. Good. Perfect. Look at the kind of felt material that used to be on the inside of it to allow them to slide up and down.
Yeah.
That stuff is toast. And it becomes just kind of shit to potentially stick to the window.
It's in the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do you scrape that stuff out of there and look for some new stuff to put in it, I guess?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, so the purpose for that stuff one of the main purposes might have just been to keep shit from rattling.
Well.
And rattling isn't really a factor with me.
Oh,
And
I think it'd be a factor.
Well, I just hate to put something in there and then have it clump up.
Yeah.
And then I have to take the entire tailgate apart.
Yeah.
Here we go. There's your retaining bolt for the tension rod. I was thinking about maybe not messing with it and leaving it in there, but based on the amount of rust that I've got on this, I'm glad I took it out. So your tension rod runs along this top little channel right here in this bend, and it just holds it up against the wall. you look, there's this little rubber on the end of the tension rod that goes inside the tailgate just to keep everything from rattling around as you went down the road. So once again, we're going to put that right in its place. So we've got every single piece removed from the tailgate except one. The latches right here. Unfortunately, the latches weren't attached with standard bolts. They were attached with these screws. And we are having the absolute toughest time getting those out. So we're evaluating some different options as far as loosening those bolts. Things we've read, they said, bang on it a little bit first, impact will help, and then if that doesn't work, we'll go with the heat and cool. Our primary objective, though, is to make sure we don't damage it. That's number one. The last thing we want to have to do is come in and drill it out. God forbid we screw up the threads inside and that whole thing. So we want to make sure we avoid that entire process and exhaust every other option before we strip a screw. Okay guys, now we're going to try to attempt to heat up these bolts. We're going to heat them up, we're going to bang on them, we're going to cool them down, we're going to do everything in an effort to try to loosen them up.
Turn it. Get you a turn.
Believe it or not, the heat actually worked. I don't know if it was the heat. We actually used a different screwdriver this time, but we got all the screws out. So now we should be able to wiggle this whole thing. And we went ahead, we actually left there you go. We left the little marshmallow spacer on there. So there that goes. All gone. All the way out. So we've heated up this side just like we did the other side. We've used ice on the sheet metal to try to keep it from getting too hot and warping. It's now cooled down, so let's give it a shot. We actually succeeded in getting this one loose earlier, so I know it's free, but we haven't gotten any of the others. We found that twisting your body is a lot easier than twisting your hands. So let's.
So if you wiggle, if you get the others loose. There you go. I'll do the rest of those.
Space. A lot narrower.
Hi, I'm Phil's dad. What we've done here is the first segment of disassembling the tailgate. And what you see here are the pieces of the tailgate removed in preparation for sandblasting and painting that segment. What we have here are the window raising structure. Here we have the two tailgate latches attached to the control mechanism, the spring bars to take the tension bars to take the spring off the tailgate as it lowers, and the window tracking equipment. We've gotten this all laid out so we can put it back in after the tailgate piece proper is sandblasted and painted.
Guys, thanks for joining us for episode 5 of Phil's Garage. We've got the tailgate fully disassembled. We've got everything laid out right here so we know exactly where it went, exactly what it connected to, and exactly which side of the tailgate it was on. Next episode, we're going to worry about getting this thing shipped off for sandblasting, for some body work, for paint. We're going to be worrying about what colors we're going to use, what kind of finish we're going to use, what quality paint job we really want from this shop. Once we get that whole thing finished, blasted, cleaned, painted, bodywork, not necessarily in that order, we get it back here and it's going to go right back where you see it right now. At that point, We've got, like I said, we've got everything laid out here, nice and simple, so we know exactly where it came from. So once we get it back and it's finished and it's painted, we'll protect it. We'll put it right back to where it's sitting right now, at which point we'll start putting parts back onto it. At that point, we'll decide which parts we want to reuse from the original assembly and which parts we've ordered from LMC Truck to put back in the vehicle. And we'll cover those parts. We'll talk about the paint we used, the parts we replaced, the cost of the parts. But for now, this is the end of episode 5, and I don't really have an outro, so